What up guys, Alex here, GuitarForce.com. So as you can see today we're going to take a look at Somebody Save Me by Cinderella. And this was requested by Lorenzo from Italy, Milan. As you know, one of the towns that was hit really hard by the virus, and as himself mentioned in the message, that it's like a Chinese Wuhan town in Europe. And he reached out to me asking if I can do the lesson on the solo of this song. And I said, of course, yes, I can do it. This is the least I can do for people, you know, to take their minds off the situation that is going on right now. And, you know, instead of doing just the solo on the lesson on the solo, I decided to do the whole song because it actually, you know, it's a really cool song. It rocks, pretty cool riffs. So we're going to break down all of the parts of the song in this lesson, and the tabs and the backing track are all going to be available at GuitarForce.com for free. And also I'm going to put the link to the cover sort of playthrough of the entire song onto my other channel. You can find the link in the description box down below. The tuning for this song is going to be standard, and also the sound that I was using for this lesson is, again, as usual, the VST plugin Guitar Rig, and I'm going to show you the picture of the preset right now. And while you're checking it out, I'm going to play you my low E string so you can tune up and play along with this lesson. Alright guys, so let's go for the close-up and start the lesson. Alright, so we're going to break up this song into parts and into riffs. We're going to start off with the first riff, which is the riff in the intro, but it's also used in the verses and also in the chorus, so kind of main riff of the song. So the riff itself goes like this. Alright, so what we have here is like 3 chords going on here. So all of these chords are going to be played against the A string open, and we're going to be playing part of these chords. So the first bar starts off with a double stop, which is part of the A power chord. So on the second fret of the D and the G strings. And we have a certain pattern going on here. So, and the pattern is the same throughout the entire riff. So we have, first of all, we hit the double stop, then we play 2 eighth notes on the A string, and it's palm muted. Then we do the same thing, and then the third time we just play once the double stop and once the A string. So we have, and then we go into the next chord. So the next chord is an F power chord in this position right here. So we do the same thing, we play it against the A string open. So we have, again, the same pattern, and then we go for the D chord, but again we just play the double stop here, which is on the 7th fret of the D and the G strings. And the pattern is also, again, the same thing. And then we have this transitioning part, which is, so here we're using, again, parts of the power chord, double stops. So we have D and the G strings, 5th fret, pulling off to the 4th fret. You can play a pull off or you can play slides. And then we play that against the A string open again. So we have, now we are playing the A string only once. Then the second pull off or the slide that we have, we play same string the notes are 7 to 5. Then again A string open, and again 5 to 4. So we have like that. And like I said, you can play the pull-off, so you can play the slides like that. And that's pretty much it for the whole riff. So now I'm going to put all the parts together and I'm going to play it slowly. It goes like this. Alright, so that's the main riff of the song, and now because there are two guitars going on there, what you can do is you can play a slight variation when you play this riff. So when you have the main part of the song, which is this one, so you play exactly as the rhythm guitar. When we come to the slides, now what you can do is one time when you play it, you can play it with double stops like that. The second time you can hear that the bass is doing some rhythmical figure as well. So what you can do is practically playing the same thing, but it's playing on the lower, using lower notes of the bass. And what you can do, you can play these slides using the chords, because it's the part of the chords. Or you can play them as single notes. So the second guitar would do something like, so playing on the bass notes. So right here I'm playing on the A string, 3-2 open, then 5-3 open, and then again 3-2 on the same string. So, and you can palm mute it a little bit, you know, to give it more of a kind of heavier sound. Or you can play the chords. So the chords are here: C to B, then open A string, then we have D to C, again open A string, and then again C to D. Again, to give it a little bit more of a kind of thicker sound, a little bit heavier sound. So you can do a variation like that if you want to use this second part of the rhythm guitar. Alright, so this riff we play during the intro, during the verses and the chorus. It's exactly the same riff, but in the intro we have a lead guitar, so we're gonna break it down, the lead part, what it's doing there. So it starts off with this chord, which is an A power chord, but also adding the high E and the B strings on the 5th fret. So it hits the chord, lets it ring out for a few bars, and then it goes into this sort of melody, which goes like this. Alright, so what we have here is we're using some unison bends. So unison bend, if you don't know what it is, it's basically we're bending, in this case we're bending the G string, and at the same time we're fretting the B string. So the B string, the first bend that we have, is going to be on the 5th fret, and we're bending G string on the 7th. So because you're bending up to the same notes, these are two same notes. But you can add some vibrato to give it this kind of distinctive sound of the unison bend. So the melody itself goes like this. We have the first bend, like I said here, 5th fret, B string, 7 on G. Then we go up 3 frets, then go down 2 frets. Then we move up to, so this is going to be 10th fret on the B, 12th on the G string. Then again back down 2 frets. Then we go up to 12th on B, bending G string on the 14th fret. And here we're bending the B string, we're bending the G string on the 12th, and the B is on the 10th fret. So this is the first line. Then we repeat the phrase again, starting off with the first bend, then the second, third, and then we have the fourth. And then when we get to here, instead of going up here, we play this scale run. So it's bend on the G string 7th fret, bring it down, pull off to the 5th, and then we go down the blues scale, the A blues scale. So we go to the D string 7 to 5, and then on the A we have 7, 6, 5, 3. And then we get into the riff. So we have, and then the song carries on. So that's the lead guitar during the intro part, and then we go into the verse, the chorus, which are, like I said, are using the main riff of the song, both of the guitars. And then we have the next part, which is sort of like a bridge, which goes like this. Alright, so here we start off with the D power chord, and you can use the A string open as well to give it a little bit of, again, thicker sound. So we stay on this chord for almost whole bar, and then on the 4 end of the first bar we play the A power chord, and we stay on this chord for the next whole bar. So we have, then we have this part of the main riff of the song. Sorry. And so it's an F chord, and then after that part we just go into the G chord. You hit the chord, you let it ring out for 2 bars, and then we go into the, again, back to the main riff of the song, basically. Alright, so after that it's basically down to the structure, so we go back to playing the main riff of the song, which we play throughout the verses and the choruses. Again, we have the bridge, so basically the same thing repeats. Now, after that we have the middle part, which goes into the solo, but the last time when we play main riff of the song before the middle part, there is a couple of chords. So I'm going to play it through and we're going to break it down. So it goes like this. Alright, so as you can see, the main riff of the song is exactly the same. Now, when we come to that part where we have the slides, we only do the first slide, so from the 5th fret, double stop to the 4th, open A string, and then we have 2 chords. So D power chord going to C. And that's the whole thing here during this part, before we go into the middle part. Alright, so now we move on to the middle part, and again I'm going to play it through, then we're going to break it down. So it goes like this. Okay, so in the middle part we played 3 times, and we have the first chord is going to be B sus4. So basically you add the E note, which is on the 5th fret on the B string, or you can use the high E string open if you can play the chord like that. So B chord, B major, and we just add this suspended 4th here. And we play the chord, it's a beat and a half, and then we just alternate that with the straight, sort of straight B major chord. So it's between these 2 notes. So we have, so we'll play it for 2 times like that in a specific rhythm. And then we go to the D power chord. You can play it once, let it ring out, or you can play a couple of times, and then it goes into for the rest of the chord. So palm muted and just playing the power chord. And that's pretty much it. Then we go back again to the B sus4, B sus4, B, and then again to the D chord. And we play it for 3 times. The 4th time we play just this part where we have between the B and B major and B sus4, and we go into the main riff of the song. And by that time we already go into the solo. So throughout the entire solo we use the part of the bridge, the middle section, and also the main riff of the song. So that's pretty much it for the middle solo, for the middle part and the riff during the solo. After that we just go back to playing the main riff of the song again for the rest of the song. So it's basically the chorus, the outro, and that's how we end the song for the rhythm guitar. So that's pretty much it for the rhythm guitar. Now we're going to break down, we're going to go into the solo. We're going to break it up into licks and phrases, and then I'm going to play the whole solo all together. Alright, so the first couple of phrases of the solo go like this. Okay, so here we start off with a little bit like an arpeggio with added 4th. Because of the chord that we have, the B sus4, he plays this little run. So it's 9th fret on the D string, then we go to the G. We have 8 to 9, so this is the 3rd going to the 4th. Then we have the 5th, which is on the 7th fret of the B string. And then we go into 10 frets on the B. So this is the 7th, the flat 7 of the chord. Like that. So we have this part, and then we just repeat. So 9 on G, then we go to the B again, 7 to 10, back to the G, 9, 7 on the B string. And the first 4 notes are 16th notes, so they played a little bit faster. And after that part, we go into unison bends again here. 4 unison bends, so you can play them here in this position, 12th fret on the B and bending the G string on the 14th fret. If it's too much of movement that you have to do, or it's too fast for you, you can do it here. So we have B string 10th fret, bending it up, and the high E is on the 7th fret. Alright? So the same thing. For me it's a little bit easier to stay on these strings. It's easier for me to slide up here and do the bend than here. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but if you want to use the same set of strings, you can just move it up here. If you want to stay in the position, you can use the high E and the B strings. Alright? Alright, so then the second part of the phrase is practically the same thing, but unison bend is moved down. So we have. Now, what we do, the first part is exactly the same as we did previously, and now the unison bends, instead of this position here, we just move down 2 frets. Now, keep in mind that there is an additional guitar going on there. So while we're doing this unison bend here in this position, the second guitar is actually playing this unison bend right here. So you might want to decide which part you want to use. You want to stay in this position here doing the 4 bends, or you want to go up here. So up here is so we're now moving into this position of the A minor pentatonic. So we're bending the 19th fret on the G string and fretting also 17 on the B string. Okay, so like I said, there are 2 guitars. Whichever part you want to play, you can choose from that. Alright, so after that we go into the next part, which goes like this. So we have here 4 pull-offs, so triplets, 4 triplets, so it goes 20 to 17 pull-off. Then we go to the G string 19, and we play it for 4 times. Okay, like that. Then after that, the next part. So 3 bends here on the 20th fret on the B string. The third one we stay on for 2 beats and you add some vibrato. Then the next part goes. Alright, so here we do, again, go into triplets and we do a little bit of chromatic movement here. So first we bend the B string on the 20th fret, then we bring it down, pick that note again, and then we go chromatically 19, 18, 17 on the B. Then we move on to the G string, we play 20, 19, 18, 17 in this specific rhythm, and then last note is going to be bent on the 19th fret on the D string. So have like that. Now alternatively, you can play these notes, you can play them here. So it's a 15th fret, high E string, bend it up, bring it down, and then go down chromatically. So 15, 14, 13, 12, then we go to the B string, and we continue 16, 15, 14, 13, sorry, and then we have the bend on the 14th fret on the G string. Right here. So again, it's up to you to decide which position you want to use. This is easier because after the bends that you do, you can just go right into using this set of strings instead of here. But however, after that, the next part that we have goes like this. Alright, so here we have a slide into the 11th fret on the G string, then we have 10 on B, 12, and then quickly going back to the G11, back to the B string, 10th fret. Then we have bends on the high E string, 12th fret, then we bring it down, going down chromatically, 12, 11, 10, going to the B string, 13th fret, then we have a quick note 12, going back to the 13 on the B, and you add some pinch harmonic here, so like that. Alright, so this phrase slowly gonna go like this. Alright, so after that, that's why, because this position right here we do after this chromatic, you can use this part of the guitar if it's easier than to switch to this position here. And then alright, so after that the last phrase that we have goes like this. Alright, so we have here sort of like a pickup note, and then we go to the triplets. So it's 12 on the G string, the pickup note, then we go to 14, then we go onto the B string, we have 12, 13, 15, repeating one more time. Then we go up to the high E, we have 12, 13, 15, back to 13, back to 12. And all of these notes are in triplets. And then we go into the bends on the 15th fret of the high E string for 3 bends here. And on the last one we stay for a little bit longer, and then we return to the main riff of the song. Alright, so that's the whole solo. So now I'm going to play all of the parts, all of the licks together, slowly, so you can see and hear what's going on. So it goes like this. Alright, so after the solo we go back to playing the main riff of the song, we get into the chorus and then into the outro part. So the outro part is exactly the same, the rhythm guitar is playing the main riff of the song, the lead guitar is doing what we did in the intro, so the same thing with the unison bends. So exactly same thing as we did in the intro, with this scale run that we do using the blues scale, the A blues scale, and then we end the song with this part of the main riff, and that's how we end the song. Alright guys, so that was it for this lesson. I hope you liked it. Please give it a thumbs up if you did like it. Also comment, share, subscribe. Stay safe, stay healthy, and until next video, I'll see you again. Take it easy, and as always, let the force be with you.